Rumble Hearts began as a commission request. Notepad, can you please update a Japanese TRPG named Ring Dream? This led me down a rabbit hole, one deep, one strange, in learning the wonderful world of 90s Japanese TRPG culture and even play-by-mail TRPGs. The game itself, untranslated, as I believe the game is more of a supplement for, well, but Rumble Hearts. I wrote this mess because I had a funny happen, but let's start with the basics. What is Rumble Hearts about? Joshi Puroresu, or Japanese women's professional wrestling. There's an entire documentary you could do about the history behind the sport itself, but it proved to be a rather interesting topic, especially for the writer to make their own game out of it, which it was eventually spun off into a browser game of the same name. Japanese pro wrestling is a fairly intensive sport, a lot different than John Cena turning heel or Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson being turned into a living meme. It's hardcore, it's physical, and the women's side is fucking nuts with some of the lunatics currently in the circuit. Easy enough, well, there was a catch. The commissioner wanted this to be a remake, so spell Sprug backwards and you have the system that was requested. I knew the day would come and I donned the crown and got to work. After a bit of elbow grease and research, I thought it was a pretty good idea for me to contact Steve Jackson Games about GURPS being used. There's no SRD or license or anything like that, so I thought I may as well ask, and I got denied. No, seriously, here's the email of them saying no. So I had all this work ready and all this effort, and then I get fucked by the people who hired J Dragon. In my darkest hour, I realized I needed to do something. GURPS is dead. Long live the LURPS. It's 3d6 roll under system and attempting to score equal or under your skill or attribute. It's as simple as that. Most everything outside of that is pretty easy. Difficulty ratings, degrees of success and criticals, even having a relatively decent set of snap and full contest systems. Each of the Joshi have 150 aspect points to build out their character, with 75 worth of detriments if they wish. Our primary attributes are Moxie, Muscle, Agility, Smarts, and Stamina, or Mass, with an average of 10 in everything. We do have quite a few skills as well, each one divided as a simple, average, or difficult to learn. So presentation is simple, being cheap and pretty easy to increase consistently, while trying to be genuine psychologist is quite a bit more difficult. From there, advantages and disadvantages. There are quite a few and they all cost a decent chunk of something. Some can be helpful, like adrenaline rush, make you go sicko mode, while being absolutely clueless makes you, well, maybe not the smartest tool in the shed. Most of these play into the idea of self-control, forcing you to make a Moxie or Smarts check to keep herself in check or fail pretty horribly and succumb to your problems. But if you wanted to hear about how LURPS worked on the back end, then thank you, it's really kind. But you probably want women beating the shit out of one another. When a match begins, everyone is set to the reaction initiative and is going to have to obey the wrath of the ring. Each hex is either going to be on the ropes, a post, the pit, or the mat. Learning to maneuver your enemies into the right place and capitalizing off of it, or just avoid getting body slammed in the pit, is going to help you in the long run. But combat itself has the Joshi choose 2 minor and a major actions. All of these play into the push and pull of the fight. When you do want to launch an attack though, you're going to have to select either brawling, martial arts, or a queen style attack. But let's say you're the one getting decked. You'll need to make an active defense of either blocking, dodging, or parrying the attack. After that, well, that's it really. Congrats, you have the basic knowledge of how to play, but you can create techniques to let you manipulate the field, so a flying guard breaker can be pretty difficult to pull off, but an acrobatic grapple kick is going to be even more difficult, but hell, it'll always look cool. And when in doubt, live up to the name, grab the problem, build up some grapple points, and do a full takedown to beat the crap out of it. But what are you actually doing in a fight? Both the Joshi need to build crowd excitement through the fight, pulling off techniques, fighting one another, and mixing things up. The more excitement, the more fans, the more cash. The more cash means no more eating ramen for dinner. However, only one fighter can be a headliner and the other is going to be a sideliner. Note how I never state winner or loser though. You can get your ass kicked but come out ahead because you put on a hell of a show and the other just, well, she kicked your ass. I'm not going to sugarcoat it at all. And yeah, that's kinda it. Nothing too exciting to really talk about. It's a pretty standardized 3d6 roll under built on a pretty generic chassis. One that I did outright make a middling OC Donut Steel SRD for in case I ever bother coming back to it. But because I know you're curious, as I do know my core audience, yes, you can directly convert everything into Extreme Gachimuchi Wrestling Ass Clap of Champions Edition. It is possible, and I do encourage it. My name is Notepad, and this was Rumble Hearts. If you like what I do here, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. All the links are below as always, and many thanks to the promoters for Rumble Humble Hearts for their continued patronage. Steve Jackson Games has still betrayed me. Godspeed, good luck, and see you at the edge of the ring.
Come on, let's go.
Do you like what you see? Deep, dark fantasy. Just lube it up.